The ayes are 308 and the nays are 122. The bill is passed without objection. A motion to reconsider is laid to the table. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on passage of H.R. 1919, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the bill.
Union Calendar Number 66, H.R. 1919, a bill to amend the Federal Reserve Act to prohibit the Federal Reserve banks from offering certain products or services directly to an individual, to prohibit the use of central bank digital currency for monetary policy and for other purposes.
The question is on passage of the bill. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
Carolina, Ms. Adams.
Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. I rise today in opposition to the rule to consider the recisions package of 2025 and its reckless cuts to public broadcasting. You know, it's not hyperbole to say that public broadcasting saves lives during emergency situations and natural disasters. My state knows that firsthand. When Hurricane Helene devastated western North Carolina last year, public broadcasting was there when traditional communications failed. Widespread power, cellular, and internet outages meant that for thousands of North Carolinians, public radio was how they received their news. Our local public broadcasting stations provided life-saving updates for our residents, broadcasted emergency resource information like food and water and distribution, and gave a direct line for North Carolinians to speak to their communities. Slashing public broadcasting funding will limit their ability to operate funding crisis and delay critical information to the people who need it most. And make no mistake, without public broadcasting, we would have seen more lives lost in Helene. So we need to protect these stations so we can protect our communities, and I yield back.
Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I recognize myself. Mr. Speaker, let's talk about the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967, which mandates that all public broadcasting programs must demonstrate strict adherence to objectivity and balance in all programs. There's a myriad of statistical studies that prove that they are not. Perhaps most damning for NPR is the fact that it had to utilize a $1.9 million federal grant to, quote, improve objectivity and diverse viewpoints last year. And this despite the fact that NPR's CEO recently testified, as our colleague said, she didn't witness any bias at the organization. Then why the need for the federal grant? The problem with the Public Broadcasting Act is that it lacks an enforcement mechanism. So we'll go with our constitutional prerogatives here to enforce the law, and it starts with the rescission of funding. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserved. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentlewoman from New Mexico, Ms. Stansbury.
Gentlelady is recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, you guys are so weak that you won't even vote to release the files. It's 11:20 p.m. in the middle of the night, and
Gentlelady will suspend. The gentlelady will suspend. The House is not in order.
Agenda through Congress in the dark.
The gentlelady will suspend. The House is not in order. Gentlelady's recognized.
And it makes me wonder, Have you even read this bill? I mean, really, because this bill rescinds $9 billion for international aid, public health, and public media. It will make America less safe. It will undermine our national security, and it will threaten lives across the world and kill children. But on top of that, it undermines our Constitution, the power of the people, the power of the purse, and the separation of the power of our Constitution. As Russell Vogt, OMB, and the architects of Project 2025 are trying to use this rescission bill to undermine the power of Congress. And that is why we will vote no, a hell no, to the blatant power grab that it represents in the face of a chaotic and corrupt administration
Time has
and
expired.
Congress that is stealing from
Gentlelady is no
people.
longer recognized. Members are reminded to direct their remarks to the chair. The gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are far from weak. We are doing what the American people want us to do, and that is to let them keep more of their money and not take it and let unnamed bureaucrats spend it on their behalf. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
May I ask the gentlelady how many more speakers she has?
We're not quite ready to close, but we will
Okay, well
be
then I will
shortly.
reserve, and you can go on.
The gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to the distinguished chairman of the Budget Committee, Mr. Arrington.
The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, the era of woke and wasteful spending in the people's government is over. And it's sad to watch this last-ditch effort by my Democrat colleagues to fight for status quo. And the status quo is a cesspool of these programs, these leftist ideological programs that they would say is soft power for America's interest, or that they would say is life-saving services. Mr. Speaker, the American people rejected this radical agenda. They rejected the failed policies of my Democrat colleagues and their unbridled spending that's bankrupting this country. They sent President Trump here with a mandate and unified Republican leadership to restore competent leadership, common sense policies, and a commitment to America first. There is nothing common sense or America first about transgender comic books in Peru and all the other woke and wasteful programs that these folks are fighting to defend. Mr. Speaker, I'm thankful we have a president that has heard from the people and is hell-bent on right-sizing this bureaucracy, reining in this waste, restoring fiscal sanity here in Washington, D.C., not only for the taxpayers of today, but for the future, for prosperity, for freedom, for our children. And this is why my colleagues are going to wander in the wilderness for years to come. And while that might benefit us politically, it's sad for my country. And I'm sad as an American to see the defense of this crazy, divisive, and dangerous ideological programs that my taxpayers in West Texas are spending their hard-earned money for. I urge my colleagues on both sides to support this rescissions package. And I yield back.
Time has expired. Gentlelady from North Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
We're prepared to close.
Okay.
All right,
Gentleman's
then
recognized.
I will close, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself the remaining time.
The gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, before I close, let's talk about what's actually in front of us. This rescissions package is a joke. Republicans passed a massive tax giveaway for the rich, one of the most expensive in history. That giveaway was 450 times the size of these rescissions. And every single Republican who spoke tonight voted to add $4 trillion to the debt. Every single one of them. And this isn't even good policy or process. It's rushed. It's sloppy. Even Republicans in the Senate are warning about the consequences. But the House majority doesn't care. They're more interested in headlines than outcomes. And once again, it's everyday people who pay the price. Now, let us end where we started, the Epstein files. Republicans can take a real vote today, a vote that will put them on the side of truth and justice, a vote to tell victims, we hear you, we see you, we will not protect the powerful at your expense. But instead, they are choosing cowardice. They are choosing obedience to Trump. And so they cooked up this non-binding resolution, a press release pretending to do something. So let's be clear. You either vote to release the files or you vote to bury them. And if every Republican votes to block our attempt to release the records, they are telling Epstein's victims, you don't matter as much as our political convenience. And that should disgust every single one of us. This place deserves better. This country deserves better. And the victims, most of all, deserve the truth. Release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files. Release the files. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself the remainder of my time. Mr. Speaker, our colleagues across the aisle all night have been talking about what we're not here to discuss, which is this recisions package. They keep...
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the House has not been in order.
The House is not in order. The gentlewoman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, our colleagues across the aisle have come here tonight, and they're not talking about what we're here to vote on tonight. They keep trying to distract the American people with things that we're not here to talk about. The American people do not want to see their hard-earned tax dollars being squandered, not one bit. At its core, H.R. 4 is about shutting off the spigot of wasteful money, clawing back the taxpayer dollars of Americans, and ensuring that wasteful and unnecessary spending is uprooted and left to wither and die. It's just that simple. That's all there is to it. With more rescissions packages on the horizon, as the President and Speaker have indicated, the best is yet to come. We're doing our job to help save the American taxpayer dollars. We know how hard it is to earn those dollars, and we don't want to see them squandered. With that, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to vote yes on the previous question, yes on the rule, and yes on the underlying bill. I yield back the balance of my time and move the previous question on the resolution.
The question is on ordering the previous question on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Speaker, come on. Mr. Speaker, I asked for the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device, and pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, the chair will reduce to 5 minutes the minimum time for any electronic vote on the question of adoption of the resolution. This is a 15-minute vote. On this vote, the yeas are 218, the nays are 211. The previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I ask for a recorded vote.
The recorded vote is requested. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is in order. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 216. The nays are 213. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Pursuant to the adoption of House Resolution 590, the Senate amendment to H.R. 4 is considered as agreed to. Pursuant to House Resolution 580 and Rule 18, the Chair declares the House and the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union for further consideration of H.R. 4016. Will the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Bost, kindly take the chair?
The House is in the Committee of the Whole House on State of the Union for further consideration of H.R. 4016, which the clerk will report the title.
A bill making appropriations for the Department of Defense for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, and for other purposes.
When the Committee of the Whole House rose earlier today, Amendment number 293, printed in Part A of House Report 119-199, offered by the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Tiffany, had been disposed of. Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, proceedings will now resume those amendments printed in Part A of House Report 119-199, on which further proceedings were postponed, in the following order. Amendment number 111 by Ms. Green of Georgia. Amendment number 12 of Ms. Green of Georgia. Amendment number 13 of Ms. Green of Georgia. Amendment number 14 by Ms. Green of Georgia. 114 by Ms. Green of Georgia. Amendment number 115 by Ms. Green of Georgia. Amendment number 277 by Mr. Stubbe of Florida. The chair will reduce to 2 minutes the minimum time of any electronic vote in this series. Do what? Okay. The unfinished business is to request for the recorded vote of the amendment number 111, printed in Part A of House Report 119-199 by the gentlewoman from Georgia, Ms. Green, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the noes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will report the designated amendment.
Amendment number 111, printed in Part A of House Report number 119-199, offered by Ms. Green of Georgia.
A recorded vote has been requested. Those in support of the request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. A sufficient number having arisen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 2-minute vote. On this vote, the yeas are 63, the nays are 365. The amendment is not adopted. The unfinished business is in the request of recorded vote on amendment number 112, printed in Part A on House Report 119-199 by the gentlewoman from Georgia, Ms. Green, on which further proceedings are postponed, on which the noes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 112, printed in Part A of House Report number 119-199, offered by Ms. Green of Georgia.
A recorded vote has been requested. Those in support of the request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. A sufficient number having risen and a recorded vote is ordered, members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote. A 2-minute vote. The yeas are 6, the nays are 421. The vote is not adopted. The unfinished business is the request for a recorded vote on amendment number 113, printed in Part A of House Report 119-199 by the gentlewoman from Georgia, Ms. Green, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the noes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will report and redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 113, printed in Part A of House Report number 119-199, offered by Ms. Green of Georgia.
A recorded vote has been requested. Those in support of the request for recorded vote will arise and be counted. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.